Welcome to One Went the Other Way, a podcast about your journey in finances. I'm your host, James. We have Peggy, and we have Wanda with us. This is our Christmas special. If you're listening to this, this came out Christmas morning. We hope that you are having a wonderful time.
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. Not necessarily in that order, right? Because everybody has special traditions, and we'd like to talk today about traditions.
Yes.
All right.
Stockings is a very prominent tradition in Christmas. I grew up with a different kind of stocking. My parents would hang actual women's stockings all the way down from the mantle to the floor with fruit, nuts, assorted goods. And it would seem like when you wake up first thing Christmas morning, there's a ton of stuff in your stockings and you can see it. But that was one of my favorite things growing up, is that we didn't know what we were going to find in such a long tube
So we're talking about the old-fashioned women's stockings that went out of business in the 1990s?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we would hang those growing up, and it would be hung with like grapefruit in it to weigh it all the way down. And so it's crazy. It just looks like this giant tube with a bunch of different assorted fruits. But inside that you have like, oh, maybe there was gift cards, or maybe there was headphones, or maybe there was candies of sorts. And that it was always a joy just to wake up Christmas morning and explore what was in it. So that was a fun tradition for me.
How about you, Peggy?
My favorite part of Christmas is the tree. I just love the Christmas tree. So I don't really have like a tradition thing that I would say was my favorite, except for, I guess, the Christmas tree. I just like to have the Christmas tree. I don't care about all the rest. I like to put the Christmas tree up, and I keep it up. You know, I haven't put mine up yet, but I'll put it up probably this weekend. And
well, I have a question. This one's for you, Peggy.
Yep.
When is the right time to put up a Christmas tree, and when do you take it down?
I often take it down right after Christmas, but it depends. So we used to always get live trees because I love the smell of the tree and all of that. But a couple of years ago, we finally went to the artificial tree. So when you have live trees, depending on when you get them, which often when the kids were little, we would get them around New Year or Thanksgiving, the weekend after, whatever. And then depending on how good the tree was, by Christmas, it's pretty dry. And so we would take it down pretty quickly after that. The day after Christmas. Even though traditionally, you should leave the Christmas tree up for 12 days after Christmas, because Christmas Day is the first day of Christmas in the traditional sense, right?
I know we keep the tree up all the way to Epiphany, which is in the Catholic
Like
Church.
January
we have
6th,
octave,
5th, whatever, something like that.
Yeah, we have the octave of Christmas, and then there's a few days after that where until the wise men come.
Yeah, that is the 12 days of Christmas, or the octave of Christmas.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Christmas traditions and how I don't have something to draw upon, but my favorite times at Christmas were always the Christmas markets that I celebrated in Europe, actually, and smelling the roasted chestnuts and the glühwein. And when I really want to be in the Christmas spirit, I make glühwein. I think because my glühwein has like oranges and cinnamon and allspice, and it just makes the house smell so good. And that to me is Christmas, that smell. And then I'm thinking about Christmas traditions, and I'm thinking about the people and the smiles on Christmas Day, especially with children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think talking about being present in the moment to what's in front of you and the blessings that you have during this special season of the people that are in your life. You know, we frequently talk about, destinations and then journeys. But at the end, isn't it the memories of when you're reaching down into that stocking, or when you're getting that Christmas tree, or when you're smelling the glühwein, to being present to all of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best part of Christmas.
I guess it goes into this idea of how we should spend our time and what this season is about. I know personally, this is a very expensive time of year.
Oh my goodness. Oh, right, because we're financial planners. We have to think about that. Oh my goodness.
So can a financial advisor or financial planning be a part of someone's Christmas plans?
Well, in that Christmas, you're going to spend money, right? There's an expectation you're going to spend money, so you should talk about it. But we're talking about the traditions that make us smile And I think some of the best traditions are the traditions that come from your heart, right? That involve maybe your time. So maybe some thought about that. Just plan and say, this is what I'll spend, and then set that aside, and then use your time then to think about what it is a person may want that will make them smile. That'll give them joy. And that'll give you joy when you see it.
Yeah. Peggy, do you have any takes on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree that obviously financial planning should be a part of all of your financial life, and Christmas or whatever tradition you celebrate during this time of year tends to be expensive. I think that, yes, it should be part of it. You should plan. When we do your cash flow, we talk to you about gifts and we discuss that. And I think doing it earlier in the year is better. It'll reduce stress on you if you know, well, that's in my plan for the year. And so I have X dollars to spend, and try to stick to that. And
do y'all see, obviously people spend more in this time. Do you see an ebb and flow to the seasons of whether it be Christmas or January, February, about how spending looks?
When you talk about your financial life, Christmas is a part of it. It's a very small part of it, right? How you are present to the people that are important in your life on a day-to-day basis is always going to be far more important. But the mechanics of spending money always finds that we're going to spend money during the season. And so the mechanics say, let's talk about it with your financial planner. Come up with a number that you can live with so that you can let that go. And then be present to what's going on in front of you. Yes, I'm going to spend $1,000, $100, whatever that number is. Know it so that as you're moving towards that, you're not stressing about, am I overspending? Did I plan for this or did I not plan for this? Just talking about it in the scheme of 12 months in the year, and then next year we get to do it again.
Well, and then you always say that people end up spending about 20% more than they also expect too, right?
Indeed, I think so. Always 20% more, and some people spend 40% more. Not that I'm going to mention names for my sake, but it always seems like, even as you're planning, right, that you're thinking, I'm going to spend $100, and then that thing that you want is $109 plus taxes. And so, having that leeway, that wiggle room in your financial plan to have that 20% gap, with the idea of, oh, hey, this is the goal, and then trying to work within that. But I think letting it go, talking about it sooner rather than later, as Peggy says, is important. And then in the moment, staying present, not succumbing to all the marketing, buy.
The Black Friday deals.
But I know, which is another topic that we could do a podcast on, but stay present to the people that are in front of you during the season. And when you see the Christmas tree in somebody's house, just be present and remember all the things that Christmas tree has seen over the years in your family, or that those stockings have seen over the years in your family, in the mantle, and all the people that have passed by the glue vine and the chestnuts roasting. As history goes on and time passes, right, it's going to happen, and be present for that, because that's what you'll remember. Not how much you spent, and not on the latest gadget, whatever that thing was.
That'll be with who you spent the time with.
Yeah, and how you spent it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to our podcast today, Christmas special. We hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa special, right?
Yes.
There's a lot to celebrate.
The holiday smorgasbord.
Exactly. There's a lot to celebrate.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoy your New Year's as well.
Sometime we can hear you about your traditions. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we'd love to. Yes, send us an email at office@financesforreallife with some of your own Christmas traditions, and we can talk about your next appointment. So, if you would like to set up an appointment with Wanda or Peggy, you can find us at financesforreallife.com. You can find us for this podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and on YouTube. And thank you guys for listening again. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Finances for Real Life, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision.